There's a moment every man has lived through. A moment where you feel something in the air, her glance lingering a little too long, her body turning toward you without thinking, her voice softening only when she speaks to you. But you ignore it. You think she's being polite. You assume it's coincidence. You convince yourself you're imagining things, but you're not, because a woman's words may be quiet, but her body is a megaphone. And if you know how to read the signals, you'll realize she's been telling you everything without saying a single word. Most men go through life blind to these cues. They miss the moment she gives the green light. They miss the moment her energy shifts. They miss the moment her body whispers, "I want you to notice me, and I want you to move closer." But you're not most men. And after today's video, you'll never miss these signs again. Because what younger men mistake for friendliness, what insecure men dismiss as coincidence, what untrained men overlook entirely, a stoic man sees with absolute clarity. Today, you're about to understand the 10 subtlest, most powerful body language signals that she's quietly craving your attention, signals she can't fake, can't heed, and often doesn't even realize she's revealing. This is female psychology, stripped to its core. This is desire at the biological level. This is attraction exposed through instinct, not words. Stay with me, because once you understand these signs, you'll never see women the same way again. Here's the truth. Most men never notice until it's too late. A woman doesn't announce her attraction with words. She announces it with a shift. A shift in energy, a shift in presence, a shift in the way she behaves, specifically around you and no one else. And this shift is so subtle, so carefully controlled, that if you blink, you miss it. Most men do. But once you know what to look for, you'll see it instantly, because feminine attraction always leaks through the cracks of her composure. It begins the moment she becomes aware of you, not your looks, not your status, not even your confidence, but your presence. Something in the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you move through the room. It triggers a quiet recalibration inside her. Suddenly, the version of her that everyone else gets, the polite, neutral, predictable version, is not the version she gives you. Instead, you start to see the subtle shift, the shift that tells you, without a single word spoken, "He affects me, and I don't want to show how much." She stands differently when you're around. Her posture softens, her movements slow. She becomes more intentional with her gestures, more aware of herself, more aware of you. It's not performance, it's instinct. And here's the part men rarely understand. Women never behave this way around men they're indifferent to. Indifference creates ease. Attraction creates awareness. Watch her closely. She becomes hyper-aware of where you are in the room, even when she pretends not to notice. She tracks your movements with the corner of her eyes. She adjusts her appearance, subconsciously smoothing her clothes, fixing her hair, straightening hair back. Her feminine energy awakens, almost like a soft glow under the surface. But it's not just physical, it's emotional. Women express attraction by regulating themselves differently around the man they want. You'll see it in the little pauses, the slight breath before she speaks, the delay before she answers your question, the tiny spark of anticipation in her eyes that she tries to hide. You'll see it in her nervousness, in the way she fidgets with jewelry, in the way she double-checks her phrasing, in the way she laughs a split second too late, not because she didn't get the joke, but because she was too busy noticing you. Her energy shifts in a way she can't mask, not because she's trying to seduce you, but because desire alters her nervous system. And here's something rooted in deep Stoic psychology. Men show attraction by advancing forward. Women show attraction by opening the door quietly, subtly, often without speaking. The first door she opens is her presence. Other men experience her filtered. You experience her unguarded. She becomes softer around you, more feminine, more receptive, more curious. She listens more closely. She responds with depth. She asks little questions, not because she needs answers, but because she wants reasons to keep the connection flowing. Even the silence between you feels different, not awkward, not empty, but charged, warm, alive with an unspoken pull. And if you really pay attention, you'll notice she positions herself in your orbit. Maybe she stands near you at social events. Maybe she enters the room and instinctively checks where you're sitting. Maybe she lingers in conversations she could have exited minutes ago. Women don't linger without intention. They don't hover in your presence because they're bored. They hover because something about you draws them in. Even if they can't articulate why, this is the first, most powerful sign, not in her actions, but in her energy. But here's the twist. Most men ruin this moment. They rush. They over-pursue. They misread gentle feminine signals as an invitation for aggressive masculine moves. They turn a soft opening into a pressure point. They crush the attraction before it has space to breathe. And this is why the Stoic approach matters. A Stoic man doesn't chase the shift. He observes it. He feels the energy, but he doesn't grab for it. He stays grounded, calm, centered, allowing her feminine interest to unfold naturally instead of suffocating it. Because when you match her subtlety with steadiness instead of excitement, she feels something she rarely feels around men: safety, space, possibility. That's when her signals intensify. That's when she starts revealing more. That's when her body language becomes louder than her mouth. If you can see this first shift, if you can recognize how a woman behaves differently around you, you'll understand every other signal she gives from here on. Because feminine attraction doesn't begin with a touch. It begins with presence. Your presence. And when her presence shifts in response, she's telling you everything you need to know, not through her words, but through the quiet, unmistakable pull of her energy. Most men listen to a woman's words. A calibrated man listens to her body, because the truth is this: women rarely say, "I want you," with their mouth. They say it with everything else. The way she moves, the way she stands, the way her energy shifts when you enter the room. Female attraction is almost never verbal at the beginning. It's instinctive, primal, subconscious. A quiet dance of signals. She hopes you are masculine enough to notice without her having to spell it out. But here's where most men get lost. They look for obvious signs. The loud, flirty, direct ones. The giggles, the compliments, the bold invitations. But the real signs, the signs that reveal she's deeply drawn to you, are silent, hidden in micro-expressions, micro-movements, and unconscious shifts that betray her attempt to stay composed. And once you learn to read these subtle cues, everything changes. You stop guessing. You stop overthinking. You start seeing the truth she's been communicating the whole time. Let's break down the 5 most powerful body language signals, explain the Stoic way, not the simping way. Not just what they look like, but what they mean. 1. The softened presence shift. When a woman is drawn to a man, her presence changes before her words ever do. She becomes softer around you, not weaker, but more feminine. Her body relaxes. Her voice gentles. Her edges round out. Her masculine tension drops. Her guarded energy lowers. Her eyes warm without her permission. This isn't performance, it's biology. A woman doesn't soften around men. She feels indifferent toward. She saves that energy for men whose presence awakens her feminine. If she behaves differently around you than she does with other men, calmer, warmer, more present, that's not friendliness. That's instinctive polarity. She's not trying to impress you. She's responding to you. 2. She faces you with her whole body. Most men only notice if a woman is making eye contact. But eye contact is the smallest part of the message. Real interest shows up in body orientation. If her feet point toward you, if her torso turns when you speak, if she angles her hips in your direction, if she leans in ever so slightly, she's not being polite. She's gravitating. This posture shift is subconscious. Women don't plan it, and they can't stop it. It's an instinctive pull toward the man who has her attention. A woman who doesn't want you will keep her body at an angle even if she's smiling. A woman who does want you will align her whole physical presence toward you even if she's trying to hide it. Men who ignore this sign miss 80% of the truth. 3. The nervous elegance micro-movements that signal desire when attraction hits. A woman's body betrays her calm. She may fidget gently. She may fix her hair. She may adjust her clothes. She may touch her necklace, lips, or collarbone. These aren't random movements. They're feminine instinct kicking in. I want to look beautiful in front of this man. But there's an even deeper layer. These micro-movements release tension, the kind that builds when she's excited yet trying to stay composed. A woman who feels nothing stays still. A woman who feels something starts subtly polishing herself. Every small adjustment says, I'm thinking about you. I'm aware of you. I want you to notice me. 4. Her eyes give you the truth she'll never say out loud. Women can control their words. They can control their expressions, but they cannot control 2 things: pupil dilation, gaze patterns when she's attracted. Her pupils expand. Her Gaze-lingas. Her eyes soften in a way she can't fake. Sometimes she'll look away quickly, not because she's disinterested, but because she's overwhelmed. Sometimes she'll look down, a subconscious sign of feminine submission. Sometimes she'll give you the look away, then look back with a tiny smile effect, the silent equivalent of, you're in my mind right now. Most men miss these cues entirely. But the man who sees them understands what she's too shy or too proud to express. 5. The distance she keeps or doesn't keep. A woman's distance is her truth. If she keeps space between you, angles away, or avoids proximity, that's her drawing a boundary politely. But if she stands closer than necessary, if her knee touches yours, if she leans into your space without hesitation, if you can smell her perfume because she's physically near, that's not coincidence. Women do not get close to men. They aren't attracted to, ever. Proximity is one of the clearest attraction signals in female psychology. It's primal, the body leaning toward what it desires. A woman who wants distance is telling you the truth. A woman who moves closer is telling you the truth. Read that line again. These signs are not random. They're not accidental. They're not polite. They are her body speaking the language. Her mouth is too guarded to express. And as a stoic man, calm, grounded, observant, you don't chase the loud signals. You read the subtle ones, the ones that reveal her real thoughts before she ever voices them. If you can read the body, you never need to guess the mind. Every man sees the signs, but only a small percentage understand why they happen. Most men notice the hair touches, the long stares, the closeness, the soft voice. They see the signs. Sure, but they interpret them as random, cute, or maybe she's just being friendly. They focus on what she does, not what it means. But if you want to move like a grounded, masculine, stoic man, someone who doesn't get confused, doesn't get manipulated, and doesn't miss opportunities, you must understand the feminine psychology behind these signals. Because women don't reveal desire the way men do. Men show interest. Women signalet. Men pursue. Women invite. And every signal she gives is backed by thousands of years of evolutionary instinct, emotional wiring, and subconscious strategy. Her body speaks the truth long before her mouth ever tries to. Here's where most men get lost. They assume attraction in women is logical. It's not. Attraction in women is felt, not reasoned. While men fall for what they see, women fall for what they sense: your energy, your confidence, your presence, your groundedness. And when feminine energy is drawn to masculine energy, her body begins communicating long before her mind catches up. Those subtle signs you're seeing, they're not accidents. They're not coincidences. They're instinct. A woman's body language is driven by 3 core psychological currents: safety, admiration, emotional excitement. Let's start with the first one. A woman cannot feel attraction without first feeling safe. Not physically safe, emotionally safe. Safe to be soft. Safe to let her guard down. Safe to allow her femininity to open. Every signal she gives, closing physical distance, exposing her neck, softening her voice, mirroring your posture, is rooted in that sense of safety. She's telling you, quietly, I trust you with my softness. And that is why understanding these signals is not about manipulation, it's about awareness. A woman who feels safe in your presence naturally allows her femininity to unfold. She reveals her neck because she instinctively feels protected. She stands close because your presence calms her nervous system. She plays with her hair because her body shifts into a naturally feminine receptive state. The second current is admiration. Women do not desire men they cannot admire. She may appreciate your looks, but admiration is what pulls her into your orbit. Admiration is felt when you hold calm, masculine composure, when you're not easily shaken, when you remain grounded while she's emotional, flirty, teasing, nervous, or shy. This is why her signals often appear only around you and not other men. Something about your presence shifts her energy. You trigger her feminine instinct to attract not through effort, but through your energy. This is the "she behaves differently around you" phenomenon. A woman's attraction is revealed by contrast, how she acts around you versus everyone else. If she touches her hair around many men, that's a habit. If she touches her hair only when you enter the room, that's psychology. The third current is emotional excitement. Women feel attraction through emotion, not logic. And when she's drawn to you, her emotions start firing beneath the surface. That's why she lingers, why her skin flushes, why her voice softens, why she mirrors your movements, why she finds excuses to stay in the moment a little longer. She's not doing any of this consciously. This is her body trying to build tension with you, emotional, romantic, and yes, sexual tension. A woman won't say, "I want you," but her subconscious will scream it through every gesture she makes. Women communicate desire through softness, signals, and subtle vulnerability. And this is where Stoic masculinity becomes your greatest advantage. Because a grounded man isn't overwhelmed by these signs, he doesn't misinterpret them. He doesn't get nervous or desperate. He simply sees them, acknowledges them, and stays centered. When you understand feminine psychology, you stop being confused. You stop overthinking. You stop missing signals. You stop leaning in when you should be letting the moment breathe. You become the calm center of the interaction, and her desire grows because your stillness amplifies her excitement. The reason these signals matter isn't because you should chase her, it's because understanding them gives you awareness, and awareness gives you control. Control of yourself, control of your pace, control of the dynamic. A woman's signals are invitations, not demands, opportunities, not obligations, indicators, not guarantees. When you read them with clarity and respond with composure, you step out of the boyish mindset of guessing and step into the masculine mindset of discerning. Because the truth is simple, women don't reveal interest by confessing it. They reveal it by feeling safe enough to show you their femininity. Once you understand that, you stop chasing the wrong women and start attracting the right ones without effort. Most men completely misunderstand what to do when a woman shows attraction, signals, even the powerful ones we just went through. They either overreact or underreact. They misread the moment, lose their calm, or try to capitalize too quickly. But a Stoic man moves differently. He doesn't rush. He doesn't chase. He doesn't let excitement pull him out of his center. His response is steady, intentional, and masculine in the most grounded way. Because here's the truth, her signals are not an invitation to jump, impress, or perform. Her signals are an invitation to stay composed. When a man's energy spikes the moment she shows interest, he unintentionally kills the attraction she was building. Women don't fall for men who react fast. They fall for men who respond slow, steady, clean, and controlled. The Stoic response begins with this mindset. I see it. I understand it. But I won't lose myself because of it. A woman shows interest to see what you do with it. Do you lean in too quickly? Do you get nervous? Do you break your frame? Do you chase? Do you melt into pleasing behavior? Or do you stay calm, centered, and grounded in your masculine presence? Women don't test you because they're cruel. They test you because they're wired to search for stability. A man whose energy doesn't get thrown around by her signals. She wants to see whether your masculinity is real or temporary. Whether your confidence is internal or reactive. Whether your attention is grounded or thirsty. So the first Stoic rule is simple. 1. Do not reward subtle signals with immediate pursuit. Yes. She played with her hair. Yes. She stood close. Yes. Her voice softened. Her pupils widened. Or her cheeks flushed. But none of that is an invitation for you to become eager. A grounded man receives her signals the way a mountain receives the wind he notices. He feels, but he does not lean. By responding calmly, you maintain the polarity that attracted her in the first place. Women amplify their feminine cues when a man remains masculine, not when he collapses into her energy. 2. Mirror her pace, not her intensity. This is the part 99% of men get wrong. A woman might give signs of interest, but that doesn't mean she wants you to escalate aggressively. She wants you to read the moment, not rush the moment. If she moves one step closer, you match that with one step of warmth. If she opens the door with soft eyes, you open your presence, not your desperation. If she lingers, you allow the moment to breathe. You don't crowd it. The Stoic frame is always, I move with clarity. Not hunger. Women crave men who can read energy without overplaying it. They want men who can feel desire without being owned by it. They want men who are intentional, not impulsive. 3. Lead subtly, not loudly. A Stoic man doesn't beg for her attention. He doesn't need to. His leadership is gentle but firm. He doesn't force, he guides. He doesn't chase, he invites. If she gives you signs, your job is to create space, not glue the moment together. You lean in with presence, not pressure. Presence looks like steady eye contact, a slow smile, confident posture, grounded tone, clean, unhurried movements. Pressure looks like asking too many questions, filling silence too quickly, talking more because you're nervous, proving anything presence attracts. Pressure repels. 4. Don't break your routine because she appeared. This is where weak men lose the game instantly. A pretty woman enters the room and their entire nervous system reorganizes around her. They stop what they're doing. They shift their schedule. They abandon their mission. They become available too fast. That's when the attraction collapses. A Stoic man stays committed to his path even when he's attracted. His mission doesn't pause just because he feels desire. His priority doesn't switch the moment she smiles. A woman becomes drawn to a man whose life doesn't spin around her presence, not because he ignores her, but because he is anchored in what he values. 5. Maintain slow, deliberate escalation. When she shows physical signals, your job is not to mirror her instantly. Your job is to stay stable enough that she feels safe to continue. When you move slowly, she relaxes. When you don't rush, she leans in more. When you stay grounded, her femininity amplifies. A woman's attraction grows when she feels she can approach without being swallowed. That is the masculine advantage. 6. Don't interpret her signals as certainty. Interpret them as interest. Interest is not commitment. Signals are not promises. Attraction is not investment. A grounded man treats her cues as information, not validation. He doesn't crown her. He doesn't romanticize her. He doesn't assume she's the one. He just sees the energy clearly and responds with steadiness. Attraction grows strongest when a man stays rooted yet receptive. When he notices the signs but doesn't collapse into them. When he brings masculine calm to feminine warmth. Because at the end of the day, her signals aren't the test. Your response is. And a stoic man passes every time, not by trying harder, but by staying exactly who he is. Most men go through life blindfolded when it comes to female body language, not because they're stupid, not because women are impossible to understand, but because men were never taught to read subtlety. Men expect clarity. Women operate through nuance. And between those two realities, the most powerful attraction signals get missed, ignored, or misinterpreted as she's just being nice. This is the chapter where everything flips, where you finally understand that the signs you thought were nothing were actually everything. The truth is simple. Women rarely say what they feel, but they always show it. The problem is, men aren't looking in the right places. A woman will give you the doorway. If you walk past it without seeing it, she won't open another one. She'll simply conclude, he didn't feel it too. And most men only realize it years later, replaying moments in their minds, thinking, oh God, she was actually into me. Let's break the illusion. The first big misread. She was just being friendly. No, she wasn't. Women are polite to everyone, but they're only soft toward men. They're attracted to. Politeness is broad, neutral, safe. Feminine softness is focused, intentional, directional. A friendly woman keeps her distance. A woman who's attracted reduces the distance without even noticing. The mistake men make is assuming friendliness equals interest. Or even worse, interest equals friendliness. Attraction is rarely loud. It's quiet. It's subtle. It's coded. A woman leaning in, lowering her voice, exposing her neck, mirroring you, brushing your hand, or laughing softer around you. Those are never random. They are signals. But most men brush these off because they expect her to say she likes them. Women don't confess first. They reveal first. Misread #2. She touched her hair because it was messy. Men think like engineers. Women think like artists. When she adjusts her hair while facing you, that's not grooming, it's revealing. She's exposing her feminine side. She's subconsciously asking, Do you see me? Do you feel this tension too? Hair and neck gestures are primal signals. You're not meant to decode them logically. You're meant to sense them. But men often miss it because they're stuck in their head, stuck in strategy mode, or stuck in self-doubt. A man who overthinks can't feel the moment, and a man who can't feel the moment will always miss the moment. Misread. #3. She stood close because it was crowded. False. Women are experts at avoiding physical closeness when they aren't interested. Even in a packed room, they know how to create an inch of space if they want it. But if she stands near you when she doesn't have to, if her knees touch yours, if she positions herself within your personal bubble, if she leans in, even when she hears you perfectly fine, that's intentional. Proximity is one of the loudest signals of attraction, but also one of the most ignored, not because men can't see it, but because they don't believe it could be real. Men talk themselves out of the truth because society conditioned them to think women are always uninterested, always out of their league, always subtle for no reason. Stoic awareness means learning to trust what's in front of you, not the insecurity in your head. Misread. #4. She kept the conversation going because she was bored. Women do not invest time into men they find boring. If she lingers, even for 30 extra seconds, if she asks unnecessary questions, if she circles back to the same topic, if she laughs at jokes that weren't even jokes, if she waits for you to respond before walking away, she's not bored. She's giving you an opening. Women invest time where they feel chemistry. Time is the most valuable currency they have. If she gives you time, she's giving you interest. But most men mistake it for friendliness because they expect interest to be obvious and bold. Women expect men to read between the moments. Misread. #5. She looked away quickly, so she's not interested. This one is the most tragic misreading in male psychology. Men think direct eye contact is a sign of attraction. And yes, strong eye contact is powerful. But the look away is often even stronger. When a woman looks at you, then looks away fast, that's not rejection. That's excitement. That's shyness. That's nervous attraction. Women don't look away from men they don't care about. They look away from men they feel too much around. It's a protective instinct. It's vulnerability. It's I can't let him see how much I'm feeling right now. Men miss this because they misinterpret shyness as disinterest. But in female psychology, shyness is often the first stage of seduction. Why men miss these signs? The core truth. Men miss signals because they're looking for certainty. Women signal through uncertainty. Men expect clarity. Women communicate through subtlety. Men wait for boldness. Women reveal through nuance. Men assume nothing is happening unless it's stated. Women assume he'll understand if he's attuned. This mismatch creates decades of missed opportunities, delayed connections, and silent heartbreaks. But once a man becomes stoic aware, everything changes. He no longer needs the world to be loud for him to understand it. He reads energy, not excuses. He sees intention, not accidents. He feels the dynamic, not the doubts. This is where attraction becomes natural, where connection flows, where feminine energy responds to masculine calm, where women finally feel seen, not just heard. There is a point in a man's journey where he stops trying to decode signs for validation and starts reading them for understanding. That shift is subtle, but it's everything. It's the moment a man stops asking, "Does she like me?" and starts asking, "Does this align with the life I'm building?" This is where the Stoic advantage begins, not in control, not in tactics, not in emotional games, but in the posture of a man who knows himself so deeply that attraction becomes a natural side effect of his presence. Because here's the truth: women notice everything. They sense confidence before you speak. They feel groundedness before you touch. They respond to stillness before you make a move. And what pulls them in, what truly magnetizes them, is not performance. It's not bravado. It's not loud masculinity. It's centered masculinity. A man who is calm, under pressure. A man who doesn't chase every signal. A man who doesn't crumble under uncertainty. A man who reads energy but doesn't react to it. This is the Stoic advantage, the ability to observe without absorbing, to desire without needing, to move forward without forcing. And women feel this difference instantly because most men don't have it. 1. You don't react, you interpret. Most men see a hair flip, a lingering look, a close proximity, and they panic. Does this mean she likes me? Should I make a move? What do I do now? A Stoic-driven man doesn't panic. He interprets calmly. He recognizes the signal, but his power comes from not needing confirmation. He doesn't attach himself to every cue she gives. He doesn't build fantasies out of eye contact. He doesn't rush toward the moment. He lets the moment come to him. Women feel that restraint. They feel that self-command. It makes them lean in, because a man who isn't ruled by impulse is rare. 2. You don't chase chemistry, you attract through composure. Women respond to masculine energy that feels safe, not chaotic, not hyperactive, not thirsty, not desperate for a sign. Stoic masculine presence is like gravity, quiet, stable, grounded. It doesn't try to impress. It doesn't try to persuade. It doesn't try to be the chosen one. It simply is. And paradoxically, the man who doesn't chase becomes the man she wants to be chosen by. Because your calm signals something no gesture of flirtation can. Emotional strength. Women crave that. They admire that. They trust that. It makes you stand out in a sea of noise because you're not competing. You're anchoring. 3. You let her body speak, but you let her words confirm. A woman's body language is powerful, yes. It reveals attraction that her mind might not yet admit, but a Stoic man doesn't assume too quickly. He doesn't act on fantasy. He doesn't leap based on one signal. He reads the whole pattern, not the moment. He lets her body open the door, but he waits for her actions, her consistency, her clarity to invite him further. This patience is not passivity. It is discipline. A Stoic man knows interest, signals the spark, but consistency confirms the fire. Women trust a man who can read desire but isn't ruled by it. 4. You're not impressed by access, you're selective. With yours, most men think attraction is victory. A Stoic man knows attraction is just the beginning. He doesn't pedestalize any woman who shows interest. He doesn't reward every sign with immediate pursuit. He doesn't give emotional access to someone simply because she smiles, lingers, or touches. Instead, he asks, does she match my peace? Does she respect my boundaries? Does she align with the man I'm becoming? Women feel this selectivity. It shifts the dynamic instantly. Suddenly, she is the one hoping to be chosen. Not because you withheld affection, but because you withheld yourself until you saw substance. This is the kind of man women don't forget, the man who sees her value but doesn't lose sight of his own. 5. You're not led by her signals, you're led by your standards. This is the core of the Stoic advantage. Her signals guide awareness. Your standards guide action. A lesser man is driven by her cues. If she looks at me this way, I'll act. If she touches me, I'll pursue. If she lingers, I'll escalate. A Stoic man acts from a deeper place, his purpose, his clarity, his boundaries, his inner compass. He knows attraction is a dance, but respect is the foundation. He doesn't confuse physical cues with compatibility. He doesn't confuse flirtation with effort. He doesn't confuse access with loyalty. And this level of grounded discernment is magnetic. 6. You make her feel something few men can: emotional safety. A woman opens up her body language to a man who feels solid, not just attractive. She gives signals when she senses maturity, not just chemistry. She reveals softness when she senses steadiness, not just confidence. The Stoic advantage creates a specific emotional space, a space where she can flirt, express, tease, lean in, linger without feeling judged or rushed or pressured, because you are not reacting wildly. You are not projecting fantasies. You are not demanding certainty from her. You are simply present, aware, unshaken. This presence makes her relax. And a relaxed woman becomes a feminine woman, and a feminine woman reveals her interest beautifully, openly, fearlessly. Not because you demanded it, but because your calm gave her permission. This is the Stoic advantage. Not tactics, not manipulation, not emotional games, but a level of self-respect, clarity, and grounded confidence that turns you into the kind of man women naturally respond to without you having to try. You're not reading her signals to chase her. You're reading them so you can move with wisdom. You're not decoding her desire to validate yourself. You're decoding it so you can lead with direction. This chapter is your reminder. A woman's signals matter, but your standards matter more. Your calm is the real magnet. Your composure is the real power. Your discipline is the real advantage. In the end, the signs don't matter as much as the man you become when you finally learn how to read them. Because once you understand female psychology at this level, you stop chasing clues and start carrying a presence that women naturally respond to. Your calm becomes the advantage. Your awareness becomes the filter. Your self-control becomes the gravity they can't ignore. You're no longer confused when she lingers, no longer blind when she mirrors you, no longer overwhelmed when she shows desire without words. You see clearly. You move deliberately. You act from strength instead of impulse. That's what this entire video was about. Not just teaching you how women signal attraction, but helping you become the kind of man who doesn't miss those signals anymore. The kind of man she respects without being told. The kind of man she craves without you lifting a finger. If something in this video opened your eyes, if you caught yourself replaying past moments, if you finally saw the signs you once missed, drop this in the comments to lock in the mindset I see it now. And if you're ready to level up even deeper to master female psychology, masculine presence, and the quiet signals that separate boys from men, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell, because the next video I'm dropping will take you from simply noticing her signs to becoming the man she signals for. Your rise isn't accidental, it's intentional. It starts the moment you decide to see clearly, and it accelerates with every new piece of clarity you choose.